So last time I think we were looking at sentence completion questions, matching sentence endings. Okay, then let's look at a different one today. Let's try multiple choice questions today. So in the reading section, there are three types of multiple choice questions that we get. What happens is you will see options, sometimes four, sometimes five, sometimes more than five as well, to a question. So first thing is to identify what type we get, because for each type there's a different way of figuring out the answer. So for those three types, let me show you those types. First, okay, this one, IELTS 13, page number 91. IELTS 13, page 91. There you will see some multiple choice questions. In fact, you will see three questions on that page. So this is one type of multiple choice question. You can see each question has four options, A, B, C, and D. And there are three questions in total. So if you get several multiple choice questions, several means more than one, and each question has four options, like this example here, and one page has only multiple choice questions. Like sometimes what happens is, in a different example here, the same page has fill in the blanks question and this other question as well. But here you can see one entire page, there is only multiple choice. So that kind of question where each question has four options. This is one type. Now another type. If you turn the pages and go to IELTS 14, page number 22. On that page, you will see a multiple choice question with five options. And you can also see that on the same page, these other questions have also been asked. So there are two questions in fact here and at the back as well, multiple choice, but they have five options. The earlier had four options, this has five options. There are different type of multiple choice questions. And there is one more. If you keep on turning the pages and go to IELTS 14, page number 93. IELTS 14, page 93. Are you new? What is your name? Yeah, okay, sit down. Look at that, IELTS 14, page 93. On that page, you see a multiple choice question. It has four options like before, but there is only one question on that page. You see that? Only one. So multiple choice questions with four options can sometimes come in a series like 3, 4, 5, one entire page of multiple choice questions. And sometimes, like on this page, only one multiple choice question. And sometimes, like the one that we just looked at, where there are five options. These are all different types of multiple choice questions. So, just to remind you again, in the reading test, if you get multiple choice questions, they could be of three different types. First type is there are four options to each question, but there is more than one question. At least two or three or eight, five or six as well. As many can fit in on one page, one entire page of multiple choice questions. Sometimes multiple choice questions have five options, and sometimes multiple choice question has four options, but there is only one question. So there are three types. So we'll look at them three types separately. Today we'll focus on this first type. If you go back to IELTS 13, page 91. But anyway, so these kinds of multiple choice questions, the answers come serially in the text. Remember that. That means wherever you find the answer to number 27 in the text, number 28 will be below that, and number 29 will be further below that. And the questions like fill in the blanks and other questions, they give us some keywords to find where the answer is, or sometimes they even say in which paragraph the answer is. They are so confident by even telling you where the answer is, it is difficult to find the answer. They will sometimes ask in the first paragraph, what is this? Or what does the writer say in the fourth paragraph? They will say where the answer is as well. And why it is difficult is the options. Out of those four options, what happens is the words in the options, you will find all of them in the text. So whatever words are in option number A or B or C or D, all of them are present in the text. So just because you saw those words doesn't mean that is the answer. What is the meaning of it is what determines the answer. Anyway, the thing is understanding, that is the main thing. So let us look at this text. First of all, the title of the passage, it says book review, the happiness industry, how the government and big business sold us well-being, by William Davis. I presume we have read this text once before as well, for fill in the blanks question, I guess. Okay. Anyway, so there's a book. The book is titled The Happiness Industry, How the Government and Big Business Sold Us Well-Being, and somebody reviewed the book. They read the book, and from their impression of the book, they wrote this article. And again, this is a real thing. If you go at Amazon, you will find this book if you want to read it actually. But this is the review of the book. Now let's look at the questions. So out of the many hints that you can always use is, after this text, these are the first questions. Probability of the first questions being answered in the beginning of the text is very high. That usually happens. Like number 27 is the first question here. So 27's answer must be in the first or second paragraph. And number 40, you can see, is the last question there. That yes, no, not given question. And the probability of number 40 being in the last couple of paragraphs is very high. So that might help you search where the answer is. Might, but this doesn't apply to all questions. Most of the times it happens. Anyway, let's look at the first question, number 27. Understanding the question is one important thing before we can find the answer. So it says, what is the reviewer's attitude to advocates of positive psychology? Now think how far removed the question is. The question is not what is positive psychology. The question is not who are the advocates of positive psychology. Advocates mean supporters. But the question is, what is the reviewer's attitude towards the advocates of positive psychology? So to understand this answer, we have to first understand what is positive psychology. After we understand that, then we have to understand who are the advocates of positive psychology. And that, we have to know what does the reviewer think about those people, the advocates who are advocating positive psychology. So that makes the question slightly more difficult. The, why I'm saying that is, in the text, out of these four options, maybe one option is mentioned about positive psychology in the text. That is not the answer. Maybe another option is mentioned about the advocates of positive psychology. That is also not the answer. One option that mentions about the attitude of the reviewer towards the advocates of positive psychology, that is the answer. Now, that makes it sometimes difficult to think. Anyway, let's look at the options before we start searching for the answer. Number A, they are wrong to reject the ideas of Bentham. Now again, who is Bentham? We have to find that out as well. Anyway, these advocates, they are wrong because they reject the ideas of Bentham. So Bentham's ideas must be very important, but they don't know, or they're rejecting the idea. Not they don't know, they know, but they don't like that idea. Number B, they are over influenced by their study of Bentham's theories. So they are over influenced. This A and B are opposite to each other. A means they are rejecting the idea. B means they are influenced by the idea. So they are opposite things. Number C, they have a fresh new approach to ideas and human happiness. So whatever human happiness is, how to get human happiness. Approach means how do you study or how do you get human happiness. They have a new idea about that. And number D, they are ignorant. Ignorant means they don't know about the ideas they should be considering. So there are some ideas they don't know about. These are the four options. In the text, let's search for positive psychology. So go over the text and see if you see positive psychology. The first thing is we have to understand what is positive psychology. Do you see it? Just the first paragraph talks about positive psychology. Do you see it? So what is positive psychology? In the first paragraph, in the fourth last line, do you see that part? Positive psychology, a supposed science that not only identifies what makes people happy, but also allows their happiness to be measured. Do you see that? So that's what positive psychology is. It is a supposed science. What do you think it means? A supposed science? Why not just a science? Why a supposed science? Because it is not actually scientific. People think it is science, but it may not be science. We are supposing that it is a science, but it may not be a science. For an example, if somebody asks what is physics or what is chemistry, it is just science. Biology is science. We don't say it is supposed science. We don't have to suppose it is science. But other things, like like astrology, people who say they can see your future. That is not scientific, but they say it is scientific process. They use computers, they do all of those things, but it's not scientific in nature. We're supposing that it is science. So it is supposed to be science that can identify what makes us happy. Again, think about it. How can science say what makes you happy? That is very difficult for science to say it. But these people say it is scientific way of making people happy and how it is measured. So who are advocating this? Mm, In the next paragraph, I want you to look at the second line. Those who think in this way. Do you see that? Those who think in this way means those who support this, who think in this way, are oblivious. Now, what does it mean, oblivious? Sometimes, if we don't know the meaning of words, we will not know the answer. And I believe this word oblivious holds the key for what the answer is. Oblivious means they don't know. They don't know what is happening. They are oblivious to what? To the vast philosophical literature in which the meaning and value of happiness have been explored and questioned. So, what is the meaning of happiness? What is the value of happiness? These things have been explored already. And there is a vast literature about this. What is happiness? But these people who advocate positive psychology, they are oblivious, means they don't know. So, happiness has been studied and there is literature for that happiness, but these people who advocate positive psychology, they don't know what that is. They are oblivious to it. Maybe that is why, if you look at option number D, that may be the answer. They are ignorant. Ignorant means they don't know about the ideas they should be considering. Because there is literature, a vast philosophical literature on the value of happiness, but they are oblivious to it, they are ignorant about it. So, D. Makes sense, I guess. Does it? No? Yes? No? This is what I'm saying. First, let's forget what the question is. What is positive psychology? For an example, uh, how to make you happy? Or how can I measure you are happy or not? If I ask you, are you happy? What would you say? Are you happy? Yes, okay. What about you? Would you say, are you happy? Who is more happy than the other? How to measure this? Like if it was height, I could have measured it by using a measuring tape. If it was weight, easy to measure. But how to measure happiness? There are some people who follow a theory called positive psychology, and they say they can measure happiness. They say they know what is happiness according to scientific reasons. They say that again, not that they can, but they say they can do it. And the second paragraph, this line says Those who think in this way, people who think they can measure happiness. Again, I don't believe people can measure happiness. How to? It's a psychological state. How to use, what to use to measure happiness? Just like saying I can read your hands and tell your future. They say they are scientific. They will say I have studied many years for this, but I don't believe in that. Some people say I can read your face and tell you what you are thinking. Again, they say they are using scientific principles to do that, but who knows? Maybe they are, or maybe they are not. But those people are oblivious. Oblivious means they don't know. What do they don't know? They don't know the vast philosophical literature. Literature means all of the writing, all of the books that are written in this subject, where the meaning and value of happiness have been explored. So, what is happiness? What is the meaning of it? What is the value of it? It has already been written in many books. But these people, they don't know that. They say they are the scientist of happiness, but they don't know the books that they should read. That is option number D also says the same thing. They are ignorant means they don't know about the ideas they should be considering. They should be reading those books which talk about happiness, but they don't know about those books. So they are all fake people. Anyway, let's look at the next question, number 28. The reviewer refers to the Greek philosopher Aristotle in order to suggest that happiness. So the Greek philosopher Aristotle has been written about here in the text somewhere. Why does the writer write about this? Option number A says happiness may not just be pleasure in the absence of pain. So it may be something else. Pleasure, just having fun, is not what happiness is, according to Aristotle, maybe. Number B, should not be the main goal of humans. So humans should have other goals in life. Being happy should not be a goal. Number C, is not something that should be fought for. So if you are not happy, don't fight for your happiness. Maybe just let it be, I guess. Number D, is not just an abstract concept. You know abstract concept? If you remember learning about abstract nouns in school, like love, these are all abstract words. Love, sadness, grief, happiness. But according to this, it is not abstract. Abstract is something that we cannot touch, we cannot we can just feel, is called abstract. But it is saying happiness is not abstract. Means there is something, a product that you can buy to be happy or something. You can buy happiness somewhere in the market or something like that. Could be. Now, why ever Aristotle is mentioned in the text, let's see. If Greek philosopher Aristotle is mentioned in the second paragraph, I guess you can see the name. Okay. Now, why is he mentioned? Let us read the line before that line. For Bentham, it was obvious that the human good consists of pleasure and the absence of pain. Think about it. According to this philosopher called Bentham, he thought that our good consists of pleasure in the absence of pain. Having fun. Pleasure means having fun in life. Whatever gives you pleasure, like going to parties or meeting friends or whatever, family, whatever gives you fun, and the absence of pain. That is what happiness is. Now, the next part, the Greek philosopher Aristotle may have identified happiness with self realization in the 4th century BC. Now, think, this person, Aristotle, thought self realization is happiness. But Bentham thought that absence of pain and pleasure is happiness. So they are not agreeing with each other. Bentham thought one thing. Bentham is a more modern person. If you can see the date, 1748 to 1830, is a more modern person. And Greek philosopher Aristotle is from 4th century BC, means thousands of years ago. And according to the modern philosopher Bentham, having pleasure in life and the absence of pain is what happiness is. But Aristotle does not agree with that. He says self-realization, realizing your own dreams and your goals, is what happiness is. So they are not agreeing. So why is he mentioned? Why is Aristotle mentioned? To say that he is not right about whatever he thinks. So they are not agreeing with each other. If you look at the options, maybe option number A. Happiness may not just be pleasure in the absence of pain. It is not that. Bentham thought that, but Aristotle doesn't think that. He thinks something else. So that's why he is mentioned in the text to contrast those two things. Now there's one more, number 29. Let's read that question. According to Davis, Bentham's suggestion for linking the price of goods to happiness was significant because. So what is this now again? A new theory about price of goods and happiness. Number A. It was the first successful way of assessing happiness. Assessing means measuring. So how to measure happiness? Maybe by using the price of goods. If you think about it, price of goods, maybe if we buy an expensive item, maybe it makes us more happy than buying a cheap item. Maybe. So price of good might give us indication about happiness as well. Number B, it established a connection between work and psychology. Now, work and psychology are connected. How do we know that? Because of Bentham's suggestion that price of goods can link us to happiness. By asking people. One thing is happiness index is the worst way of measuring anything. It is just like asking you how happy are you today on a scale of 1 to 10. And if you say I'm 8 or I'm 9, that much happy. Or out of 5 stars, how many stars would you give to your own happiness? That's how they measure happiness in those indexes. And they don't say anything at all. Like a very undeveloped country, the people might say I'm very happy because they don't know what is happening around the world. So could be. So I have heard that in Bhutan they measure in that way happiness of people. Now people might say they are happy, but it's a very underdeveloped country if you know about Bhutan. So they measure it in that way. It is not objective. That is why it is not scientific at all. Because measuring actual houses and money and that is easy to do. It is a scientific way of doing it. But this price of goods is also I guess scientific because there is something, a number is there. Anyway, so why is it important to link these two things? Number C, it was the first successful example of psychological research. So first time anyone did a psychological research was Bentham, who linked these two things. Number D, it involved consideration of the rights of consumers. So consumers also have rights. Do you know consumers have rights? Like you are studying IELTS here, you have paid money for it. If there is something that the organization does against you, like takes your money and doesn't teach anything, then you can maybe file a case against the company because you have rights based on the money that you pay. So maybe whatever the thing is, out of these four, let's see Bentham linking the price of goods. So Bentham is mentioned there, but price of goods. Let's see where is price of goods mentioned. Below the last answer, but it may not be immediately below. It may be further down in the text. Okay, I see in the third last paragraph. If you look at this next page, on this paragraph here, the second one on the next page, in that paragraph, look at the fourth line. Let me read the line for you. Alternatively, money could be used as the standard for quantification if two different goods have the same price. It can be claimed that they produce the same quantity of pleasure in the consumer. So how to measure happiness? By using the price of goods. Like earlier I asked you, are you happy? You both said I am happy, but who is more happy? We can do it by measuring the price of things that you buy. So for an example, if you buy a phone that costs 40,000 rupees, it makes you that much happy. If you buy an iPhone for 300,000 rupees, it might make you more happy because the price of goods, the more happy it makes, the more you will spend on that product. Might be like when you go to eat in a restaurant, you might go to a roadside restaurant as well and eat at very cheap cost if just filling a stomach is the thing. But why do people go to expensive restaurants? Maybe it makes us them more happy. The more money it costs means it gives you more happiness. So he linked those two things to measure happiness. Now, why is it important? Let's say Bentham was more attracted by the latter measure by associating money so closely to inner experience. Inner experience means, like we read earlier, I guess psychology experience. By associating money and psychology, Davis writes, Bentham set the stage for. Set the stage for means do something very important in the beginning. Means set the stage for. For something very big, to do something in the beginning. Set the stage for the entangling. Entangling means to connect things. Entangle like this. In Nepali, aljinu. Entangle. Entangling of psychological research and capitalism. Capitalism is the system of society that we live in right now, system of economics, where we spend money on whatever we like to buy. That's what capitalism is. This system that we are living in Nepal as well. We have money, we go to the market, we choose whatever we want to buy. That is what capitalism is. So this capitalism is spending money on things that we like, and psychology. Entangled means linked together. That would shape the business practices of the 20th century. So in the 20th century, how did businesses conduct their business? By using this theory that people are going to spend money on whatever they like. And if you make the customer happy, they will spend more money on your business. Like before you came to this IELTS class here, you could have chosen other institutes as well. You had money, now there are many places where you go and give your money. Whatever place makes you the most happy, there is where you go and spend your money. So that's what he did, this Bentham. He linked those two things together. That spending money is about happiness. That is why I guess option number B, maybe. It established a connection between work and psychology. Work doesn't only mean that doing job. Work means all our society works, and psychology, they are linked together. And it was he who connected that. And that is how businesses run today. Like some businesses, for the same product, they ask higher price. Why? Because they think they are making you happy. I guess you can guess why that is. When you go to a clothes store, if just getting warm is the thing, you can buy any cloth that is there in the shop. But you think about looking good as well, or the service of the shop as well. So happiness is what the businesses focus on, not the product itself. Selling you happiness as well. It's just that is the answer, I guess. So if you got the way that we are doing it, the answers come serially in the text, means wherever you find one answer, the other answer will be after that answer in the text. So read the first question. The questions usually give you a name or a keyword to search in the text. And I know the options sometimes confuse us, but the thing is, whatever the wrong options are, if you understand the meaning of those, they will never be written in the text anywhere. So, like I said here in this number 29, B is the answer. If you look at A, C, and D, similar words may be in the text, but what is the meaning of the overall option? That thing will not be there in the text. But sometimes we might read something and it makes us feel like that way. Always take your time and think it over what it actually means to get the answer. So anyway, look at the questions. There are 6 of them. For 6 questions, 12 minutes. Take your time. Try these and ask me if anything is difficult to understand. But try by yourself.